Hi there, everyone. Welcome to our short-term missions discussion time. We're coming to you live from the Indianapolis Convention Center, our general conference of the UPCI, and we're just so excited that you've joined us. And what we're going to be talking about, and I say we, I'm going to start off this afternoon. What I'm going to be talking to you about is our short-term missions department or programs and ministry. The short-term missions programs of the United Pentecostal Church is really alive and very active, and our whole effort is to recruit and to give training to our future missionaries. And not just our future missionaries, but our future local saints in the church. We are not just interested in training up missionaries, but we're also very interested in helping to grow a base of global Christians that serve and minister in our local churches. And so kind of what I want to do today is I want to talk you through some of the programs that we have in this ministry, and there's probably a lot more going on than you might have imagined. So let me just go ahead and dive into it. And then I've got some guests with me today that will be sharing a little of their experience that they've had in one of our programs at least. And we'll just kind of wrap things up after that. So let's get into it. So my name is Angie, and I have served on several of these programs, either as an instructor or as a person that's been directly involved in serving. So I can speak from experience on some of these things that there's been a lot of growth in the last 5-10 years, and it's exciting to see what God's doing. So let's go back in time just a little bit to the 1980s. There was a program created called the AIM program, probably one of our most famous programs. And this program was begun to allow people that had been going on the International Youth Corps trips to be able to spend more time on the field before becoming missionaries. And so we have some famous people that were part of that AIM program, and pretty much every missionary that's serving now, there are a few exceptions, but most all of them have served at least some time on the AIM program. So it was one of our flagship programs that we started way back when, and it has done nothing but increase and grow. Now, when it comes to other programs that we have, I'll just start with one that just about any licensed minister can become part of, and you don't actually have to live overseas to be a part of this program. It's called our Associated Ministers Program. This is a program where there is no charge to join. It's pretty much a really cool program where you can have PIMs. You can take overseas ministry trips to either teach in a Bible school or be part of a crusade or something like this. It's a really great community to be a part of. If you're a licensed minister, male, female, it doesn't really matter. If you're a licensed minister, we welcome you to get involved with our Associated Minister Program. You can find out more about this program on our Gateway website, which is GMSTM.net. Now, if you're an associated minister or someone that's interested in that, and you go to that website portal, you're going to find that there's a lot of our other ministries that are listed there. So what I want to do now is I want to go down through some of the other ministries and programs that we have that you would find on that Gateway page, which is GMSTM.net. So one of the programs that you would find on there is our Next Steps program. Now, Next Steps program, in a lot of ways of thinking, is kind of our bridge between the AYC trips that are hosted by youth ministries and our AIM program, which is a 2-month to a 1-year appointment. So our Next Steps program is a summer program that includes 3 weeks of training and 5 weeks of apprenticing with a missionary. We have those trips, assignments in different regions. Just because you go to a region is hosting a Next Steps assignment that year doesn't mean you're stuck in that region for life, but it does mean that you can kind of grow your understanding of different people groups. And so it's a great way to get 3 weeks of training for a lifetime of service, and then it's a great way to apprentice under a missionary. So that's our Next Steps program, and you're going to hear from somebody who's been a part of that program as well just in a few minutes here. The program after that is our flagship program, which is the AIM program. It's been around the longest. That program typically lasts from 2 months as a minimum to 1 year as a maximum appointment that you can receive with the AIM program. You can serve in just about any place that you want to. And the really cool thing is, if you want to serve but you don't know where, we have something called missions coaches. We also have something called a Go Center that you can get to through that main portal that I mentioned a while ago, GMSTM.net. And as an aimer, you can experience true life on the mission field. You get to do the actual work of a missionary. And it's exciting to see people kind of travel the pathway to the harvest through the AIM program, because the AIM program is not the end of the road. There are other programs that continue on where AIM might leave off. Now, the program up from AIM, some people call it AIM Plus, but it's a program that allows you to do a little bit of deputation, maybe have a slightly bigger budget, just some different levels of responsibility, probably more than anything. And that is called our AMP program, or the Associate Missionary Program. So that's AMP. And we're going to be hearing from someone who's been in our AMP program in Japan. That's pretty exciting. And tell you a little bit about what it might be like. So that's kind of about serving on the field with our programs. Now, we have another program that we do. It's a training program in teaching English as a second language, or TESOL certification. With this particular 60-hour certificate, if you couple that with, say, a bachelor's degree, there are many closed nations that you might be able to get into using that as a base for your employment. So this is something that we believe in. We know that there are a lot of access challenged nations that we want to get people into, and teaching English is a great way. It's a starter package pretty much for any type of ministry. For those who have a heart for refugees, even here in the States or even overseas, it's a great program to be certified in. And you can find out more about that from our Gateway page as well. You can also register for our training next summer. Just go check it out. There's a lot of information there for you. And last but not least, we have a new emerging program that I'm just going to ask you to help us pray about. It's called the Greater Work Summer Camps. And the idea with this is that a small group would go in and offer community-related programs as a way to open up a new community so that people can hear the gospel. So it might be, teaching some kind of outdoor activity. It might have something to do with drama or art. We're trying to get this off the ground, and we're real excited that we've got some interest in it. So stay tuned. You'll be seeing more about that on that portal page. Now, before I let you hear from some others, there is an event that we also sponsor every other year, and that is called Global Connections. The first one we had was in 2016. It was off the chain. I mean, they had security guards and like TSA agents checking people into the church and doing all kinds of stuff. It was amazing. We had Raj, the inflatable elephant, that joined us, and food tasting from all around the world. It was a lot of fun. Not only that, there were people who were called at that event that are now on the field serving. And to me, that's the thing that makes it so worthwhile. In 2018, we had another Global Connections event, complete with escape rooms and all kinds of stuff, just interactive things, as well as great inspirational services. Not only that, and yes, I'm selling this hard because you don't have to go overseas to get to this, but it actually allowed the tribe to grow. So if you are a missions person and you feel like a fish out of water in your local church or in your youth group, Global Connections is the perfect place to come and meet people who have your same heart. I don't know how many people I hear from that they've been on AYC and they just want to keep going back again and again. And when they come home, it's hard to readjust, even after being gone just 10 days, to be able to connect up with people that have their same values. So Global Connections is a really, really great thing to come to. So our next one will be November 3 through 5 of 2022. So not this November, next November. And if you go to that portal page, gmstm.net, you'll be able to get to our Global Connections website and find out all the deets, even see previous sermons and things that have been on our event schedule for that. So there's a lot of things going on. And I'll just throw this in here for short-term missions. We're not just interested in singles. We're interested in families. We're interested in retirees. And not only that, but we're also interested in kids. And so we have even a Go Next Kids program that we can do at a local church on a weekend. If you're interested in that, get in touch with us. It's a really, really incredible thing to see kids responding and actually being concerned about missions and the harvest and those who have never heard. So kind of what I want to do now is you've heard a lot of me yakking. And so what I want you to do is I want you to tune your ear to some people that have been on some of these programs. And I would like for current missionary Corey Lucas to kick us off. She's going to mention her experience as an associated minister with short-term missions. So Corey, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Thank you so much, Angie. And I just want to give honor to the short-term missions program. They are incredible. And my name is Corey Lucas, and I'm an associated minister of UPCI Global Missions. And this program was developed, like Angie mentioned, to create like a partnership and alliance with ministers in North America to help them be involved in overseas ministry, even if they aren't able to be there full-time or for a long time. And so the program, for example, if there's a children's revival happening in Ghana, or if there's a Bible Institute that's looking for instructors like our Bibles all over the world, or maybe a youth conference in Australia, they can go and try to find a minister somewhere, but an associated minister is someone who is already raising a budget to go overseas, temporary for something like this, a need that needs to be met. And so it is for licensed ministers of the UPCI to basically put their name in a hat to say, hey, I'm available to go. I'm going to raise monies to go. And it's a huge blessing, and it's an awesome alliance to have with Global Missions. And, I had been on AIM before, and when I came back to the States, I did really feel like a fish out of water. I felt like there was really two options in my life. I could be here in North America, or I could be overseas in missions. And really, that's first off, not the God we serve. He's limited options kind of God. And so when this program was developed, it was a wonderful opportunity to say, hey, I want my name in the hat. I want to be a global Christian. I want to be involved in overseas ministry. And so this is what that program allowed me to do. I was involved in 3 Next Steps trainings in Scotland, in New Zealand, and in... where was the last one?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. So all around the globe, being able to go and just be able to minister to people and be a blessing. And so I would encourage you, if you're a licensed minister and you have a heart for overseas missions, this is the program for you.
Hi, I'm Mark Hadabaugh, and I am from Cooper City, Florida, and I'm here to talk about the Next Steps program, And what Next Steps really did for me was, in a time where I wasn't really sure the next step, it provided that just a time to get away and get alone with God in a place where I wasn't familiar, I wasn't comfortable, and just get involved in the work of God. And at that time, like I said, I didn't have a direction. I didn't even feel called necessarily to missions, but it gave me that little buffer where I was able to just get, like I said, get alone with God, and you were able to get direction. And the training was incredible. Even if you're not planning, like I said, on being a missionary, the opportunities and the rubbing shoulders with such great men and women of God was incredible. The training does not only apply to missions work, it also applies to any aspiring ministry or anything that you have to work with in a church, period. You have opportunities to work with missionaries, to sing, to preach, to just go and help set up for the next service the next day. It is truly a program for anybody and everyone. The first 3 weeks, like Sister Angie said, is specifically for training. And like I said, the training was incredible. The next 5 weeks is specifically working with the missionary. And in fact, the trainers will end up leaving you in that country, and you are an AIM worker for the next 5 weeks. And you are directly under the missionary, helping the missionary with anything he needs and does. And my experience in New Zealand in 2019 was absolutely fantastic. And I suggest Next Steps to everyone and anyone who has any aspirations to be involved in church or ministry. And just one example of just an incredible testimony I've received while I was there. We went to a small church of 3 people in the city of Tongariro in New Zealand, which happens to be the furthest city from Jerusalem that's a city that's on the map. And it was an incredible situation to be that far carrying the gospel to the whole world, the furthest from Jerusalem that you can possibly get. And we were able to bring the gospel to that church. And by the time that we had left there, that church of just 3 members had grown triple. And so it was an incredible experience, an incredible opportunity. And if you have any aspirations for church work, ministry, it is definitely something you should consider.
Amen. That's a beautiful testimony. My name is Tyler Olette. I was on the AIM program. As Angie said, it's one of the most popular programs, and I had heard of this program before, and I was in Bible college, currently at Olson, and I felt the call, and I didn't know what to do, but I felt that I was beyond AYC. I looked into next steps, but then I looked at the AIM page, and I felt a tug to Moldova, and so I joined a team for 2 months into the nation of Moldova. We were the first apostolics to step foot in this city, a capital city of about 600,000 people. And so in that 2 months, I went in thinking I had a plan for my life, but as it turns out, God had other plans. And so through this opportunity to step overseas for the 2-month minimum, which is the perfect window for me, being between semesters, in that time, God spoke into our lives as a team. He did amazing, wonderful miracles. We saw people receive the Holy Ghost. We saw we saw someone's eyes be healed. It was a beautiful, wonderful experience. And so through that AIM program, my life has been forever changed. And I am now actually, because of this trip, I knew I had a missions call, but I didn't know where. And because I was willing to go on this AIM trip, I now know where I'm going, and I am raising funds to return and have been approved to return for a year. And I'm very thankful for this AIM program and the opportunity to go.
That's awesome. The AIM program is so fantastic. That's where I started. But after AIM, you can do this thing called the AMP program, and that's what I'm doing right now. My name is Tricia Ball. I'm an AMPer to Japan, and it was a great opportunity for me to say, okay, I did the AIM program. I know that this is what I want to do, but I'm not quite ready to jump in full force and be on my own by myself. Like, I still like the umbrella of the short-term missions protection a little bit. So I want to commit and commit to this area. So I committed to Japan. It changed my relationships with the missionaries, with the team on the ground. It changed my relationships with the nationals. And I think when you're there, that's the point. You're trying to build these relationships. And they were able to see, okay, she's committed. She's not going to be here for a couple months at a time. She's here. And it really changed how I was able to minister. And I think I even got to learn different types of ministry because that commitment was established. So I'm thankful for the AMP program. If you're an aimer and you're like, okay, what do I do next? I'm not going to jump all in, but I still want to be committed. What's my next step? AMP is a great start for you.
My name is Emily Benson, and my husband and I are AMPers as well to Benin, West Africa. And in Benin, we currently have 3 TESOL classes. I received my TESOL certification in 2019. And we started our first TESOL class last year. And since then, it has grown to 3. We have them in our capital city, and then we also have 2 out in some of our village churches. And it has just been an excellent outreach tool. We have people from all walks of life that come into these classes. We have doctors, we have businessmen, we have construction workers, and some of them are our church members, but some of them are just people who want to learn English, and it has just turned into an excellent outreach tool. So if you want to be involved in missions, this is an awesome opportunity to get involved, and you can use it literally anywhere. You can use it at home, you can use it on the missions field, and it's just an awesome outreach tool.
Thank you so much, everyone. Well, there you have it. Not just from me who works with the programs, but people who have been through them. If any of these are of interest to you, please stop by our portal, GMSTM.net. Take a look, and if you've got any questions, get in touch. We're happy to help. God bless you, and thanks for your time.